Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope that you guys are doing great on this Thursday. I know over here in Cali we had a little rain, so I hope all my Cali people, you are staying dry. Welcome to Facebook and YouTube. I'm so glad you guys could join us tonight. I am Chantel Denise, and I'm so excited to be on here with you, sharing some good stuff with y'all. Tonight, my guest, y'all, she is amazing. She is a woman who is on a mission to really spread a lot of joy in this world. And so I am so glad to have her join me tonight. And I want her to share a little bit about her to you. So I'm going to leave that part for her. But without further ado, I want to welcome Staci Brandonisio. Hi, Staci.
Hi, how are
How
you?
are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Can you hear me good?
I can.
Good. How are you today?
I'm
How's it going for you?
I'm doing great. It's coming to the end of my day. It's 8 o'clock here in Texas, so I'm winding down and ready to have another day tomorrow.
Awesome. I am so glad we can have this talk because we both Texas ladies. Born and raised. You were born and raised in Texas, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So was I. Well, I am so excited to just have you because I think you might be my first. No, my cousin was my first Texas guest.
Okay.
But you are actually the third because I did have another girl from are you familiar with Beaumont, that area?
Yep.
Yeah, I had another girl on here from there. But you are the first Texas queen.
All right.
So you are the first or something. But I really appreciate you being here. I would love for you to go ahead and just tell the people a little bit about you. If you can do that in 60 seconds, I will be thrilled.
You got it. Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I so enjoyed our time together in January, so I'm excited to be here and honored to be your guest. But for everyone out there, my name is Staci Brandonisio. I am a born and raised Texan, and if you know anyone from Texas, you know that we are very proud of our state, and I am as well. I've been married to my husband, Alex, for almost 11 years, and we have two beautiful daughters. They are 16 months apart, so we always have our hands full over here. We love going to the beach, spending time outdoors, and watching baseball, going out on the boat. Those are kind of our ways that we wind down and relax. For me personally, I got my bachelor's degree from the University of North Texas in fashion merchandising and Mean Green. I've been in the private golf industry for almost 20 years now. I am a human resources manager, and I work for a company called Discoveryland. And we have a new club here right outside of the Austin area. So I've been there for almost 2 years now. I'm a certified professional from the Society of Human Resources Management. And that's about me in a nutshell. Oh, I lost you on volume.
What I just said, I was for a second there. What I had said was you are a woman wearing some hats. I love it.
Many hats.
I love it. You with all the stuff that you do, I know that you are a very passionate woman about overall wellness. And I just, meeting you in the pageant, for those of you who don't know, I met Staci in a pageant. You basically are just, you're kind of like on a mission, really, just for people to have wellness, overall wellness. Why do you think that it's important for a person to have balance in their lives, in their mental, physical, and spiritual well-being? Can you tell us a little bit about that, being that you are passionate about that area of life?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, they have the old saying, you can't love someone else fully unless you love yourself. Or you can't be a good wife or a good partner or whatever it is unless you're fully feeling balanced yourself. And I truly believe that we have to figure out what we need as individuals. Everyone is different. There could be different things that each person needs, but for me, if I go on 30-minute Peloton bike ride, I'm not necessarily going that day because I feel like I need to be fit. I'm going because that's what I need for my mental wellness, to feel like my best version of myself. If I can get on there and do that, that makes me feel good. Or for example, like for me, like natural anxiety medication is going to the beach or going to church every week. Those are the things that I need to make myself feel balanced so that I can be the best version of myself for everybody else around me. I can be the best wife and the best mom and the best employee and just the best, version of myself all around, so I can give everybody else that best version of myself too. So I think it's important for everyone to know what works for them and what their needs are in order to be the best version of themselves for everybody else around them.
I love that. I love when you said, you're not necessarily going to work or go exercise or go on a walk for fitness. You're going, like, it's your mental space. It's a space that you work from. I absolutely love that. I think that, that's a good strategy to have, because I think a lot of times people do go just for, they want to get in shape. They're not necessarily thinking about, oh, I'm relaxing my mind here. This is an opportunity for me to let go of all the stresses of my life and be able to be mindful in this moment. I love, because it sounds like what you're doing is you're taking these opportunities to get some mindfulness in.
Exactly.
I love it.
And I think that can be different for everybody. Different things work for different people. And even my husband, he has to do different things, to find his zen or his, balance. But it's just whatever works for everybody. You figure out what you need in your life and what makes you feel whole.
Good stuff, girl. Good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I want to just segue a little bit, because being that you are passionate in this area and you have this mindset, this is your philosophy, which is beautiful. I want to talk a little bit about your platform, because I know that your platform kind of like it actually coincides with what you just shared. I want to talk about. I noticed that your platform is called the Kindness Effect. Oh my goodness. Now tell us a little bit about that and what made you become an advocate for promoting the message of kindness.
Yeah. So the Kindness Effect, just really, my goal is to help children and young kids understand the importance of kindness. And while it may sound like something so simple, if it was really that simple, we wouldn't live in a world filled with so much hate. And so yeah, it sounds so simple, but it's like, it's true. It's so sad that there's so much hate in the world. So I really just want to show young kids that they have a choice. You have a choice if you want to be kind, or not to be kind. And when they're faced with that choice, I want to teach them why it's important to be kind and the effects that it can have on someone's life and the importance. And then the opposite too, if they choose to not be kind, the kind of effects it can have on people's lives as well, and the effects that bullying have on kids these days, and why the numbers of bullying are so high. So we created the Kindness Effect as a name because we're trying to create a domino effect. You teach one person how to be kind, and then that just creates a domino effect through the world. You teach one person, and then they'll teach a person, and it just keeps going and going. And hopefully by doing that, we can create, a kinder world.
I love it. I like that so much. When you said it sounds simple, but if it was that simple, we all would be doing it. It's not as simple as, it's it's not that big of a word, but it actually, like, when you think about it, it's so huge because it's so hard to do sometimes. It's very easy. And I think people naturally are, they can react, shall I say. I know that I had to learn how to stop reacting myself in certain areas, because, and I'm still growing in other areas, but I had to learn how to respond, because I think when I'm reacting, I'm not looking to be kind at all, because I'm just going with whatever is naturally emotionally in there. But I love when you talk about kindness and just it being a domino effect, because it really is that powerful. It really could change the world if people would stop for a moment, instead of reacting, choose to go respond. And for me, responding is like giving it a pause, giving it a beat. And I think kindness kind of like that's kind of like a solution that you can replace when you're in that pause. Like how can I shift this here? How can I do something different from if I were to react in this situation? You guys, I hope you guys are listening to this conversation, because one of the things that I know that inspired me about Staci was the fact that this word kindness is a word that we've known for centuries. It's not new, but so many of us just have deep rooted challenges of actually spreading it. So I want to ask you, Staci, like when you are teaching people, the kids, how to be kind, can you share like one positive solution that you can offer that actually helps when you're teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also wanted to kind of go back to the second part of your question earlier and tell you why this is important to me and what, deep rooted this in my heart. And that was just my kids, you have kids. And so you know what it's like when something happens with them and you immediately want to fix it. And, Mama Bear comes out.
The people. Don't ask for my peace.
Yeah, exactly. So one of my daughters was having some issues with bullying at school. And, when that happened, two things happened. It broke my heart, first of all. And then secondly, I wanted to figure out what I could do to fix it. And so that's how my platform was born. And it just kind of naturally happened and evolved. And I think that I've been able to do a lot of useful things with that. So I'll tell you about one of the things I do in the classroom. My favorite exercise to do is called the crumbled heart. And so
tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's my favorite one to do. So what I do is I take a blank piece of paper, draw a heart on it, and give that to the kids. So each kid has one. And I let them see, I said, look how beautiful, crisp, and clean this heart is. And then now I want you to trade hearts with the person next to you. So they trade hearts. And then I tell them to crumble that heart up. And so and that's kind of the fun part for them. They, mush it all up, step on it, whatever they want to do, they crumble it all up. And then I tell them to switch back, give it back to their friend. And then their friend's like, well, why is my heart all crumbled? You crumbled my heart. And so they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to crumble your heart. Let me try to fix it for you. So then you try to flatten it back out. And so the lesson is that once you crumble someone's heart, you'll never be able to flatten it back all the way out. Just like once you bully someone or say nice things, you can apologize for that, but it'll never fully fade away. So we'll always have, the scars of bullying on their heart. So to really be careful with what you say to people's faces, behind their backs, what you're putting out on the internet, anything that you can do that's unkind or bullying, those things never go away. People will always remember them and they'll always have the scars. And I mean, you can talk to plenty of adults now that remember being bullied as a kid. Like, you don't forget it.
No. I remember I was bullied as a kid.
Yeah, that never goes away. So just that's my favorite exercise to do inside the classroom, because I think it shows a real nice visual that it doesn't go away, and those scars will always be there. Even if they fade a little bit over time, they'll still always be there, and people will still remember what you said.
Yeah. That's a great exercise. I think we adults need to try that. Oh my gosh, how powerful that is. Because I like when you said the person, well, why is my heart crumbled? why is mine crumbled? And, it's a great message to instill. Do you do it at home too?
I haven't done it at home, but my kids have been in the classrooms when I've done that exercise.
Okay, so they know what it's like. Now, is that something that you created yourself, or something that you learned from like a different organization or group or so?
Yeah,
I've heard of that, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I found it doing research on different bullying activities and things like that. But I've really just kind of made it my own, and it's something that I do frequently. So
nice. I love that. That's a good exercise. I might have to steal that one over here in this household.
Yeah. The other good thing is like the toothpaste example. It's like once you squirt the toothpaste out of the tube, it'll never go back in the way it was in there before, if it even goes back in the tube at all. So.
It won't. Now, were you ever bullied personally yourself growing up?
I was not. I never experienced that myself. So really, once it started happening to my daughter, I really just dove in, tried to find, as much information as I could about it, and found that it's so unfortunately common.
It's huge.
Like statistically, right now, 1 in 3 kids is bullied. And that comes out to over 10 million kids in the United States that are bullied. And that's just way too many. It's just way too many.
It is. It's really sad because I know my daughter was bullied at school. I don't know if you have this situation, but she was bullied at school. And unfortunately, the schools really don't have any. I won't say all schools. I don't know in your situation, but unfortunately here, they really didn't have any real tools to actually. So something like this is really powerful. Mm-hmm. They didn't have any real tools to help. I said, well, what do you do in a situation like this? Well, we put them in detention, or we, have them pick up trash, or, it was just really weird stuff that really had nothing to do with connecting with the child's heart at all. Mm-hmm. And so I just felt like, wow, this is a losing battle here, in this situation, because the people who are in the higher ups, they have no solutions,
right?
And some of these people are parents and some of them are not. It really made my heart sad. So what I do is I just continue to work with my kid, knowing that I can't reach these people over here. And I've tried, believe me. But it just broke my heart that they have to go to these schools and there's nothing really there, as far as for a tool to help the children, to help my kid, number one, and then also number two, to help the kid who's actually bullying. Because I do think that there's something there. There's something going on. I don't think people are like just born mean and want to just come out the womb evil. I think things happen in people's lives, and things are happening at home. And, these kids are reacting to what's around them and their experiences. So girl, you might have to go come visit out here, and might have to come to some of these schools. Might have to come in some of these schools. That's really good. I love that.
We have the same situation here. I've had a lot of other parents tell me the same thing, and have the same, concerns about the schools and bullying. And I don't know what the solution is in the schools. So like you said, just keep working with your kids at home, and make sure that you're giving them a good example and leading by example at home, and do your part. And that's what you can control, even if you can't control what's happening outside the home.
Yeah, that's, I appreciate that. That's something that I'm realizing, like, you just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about, like, you can't fix this person. And, hopefully some change will happen in the school systems, because it's so needed. It's so needed. I want to shift a little bit, because as we mentioned earlier, I mentioned that you wear many hats. So I want to talk a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit too about kindness in this area of your life. You're also a human resources manager, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So have you been able to implement this message of kindness with employees in your organization?
So the thing that I really strive to do as an HR manager is I'm really trying to get rid of the stigma that the HR manager is the principal's office. And if you have to go talk to HR, then you're in big trouble. And I'm really trying no, I really just want to talk to you. Like it's not anything bad, you know? So I'm
Yeah,
just trying to reverse that.
I like that.
Yeah, and just really create like an open door policy and make my office a safe space. And the way that I'm doing that is by, you know, portraying kindness and compassion and kind of just leading by example. I think that's the most important thing. And our company, our organization, they believe in a safe work environment, and so you know all of the leaders are committed to leading by example and showing that we are kind and compassionate and that we actually, you know, really care about our employees. And so I try to just keep my office a safe space. And some people have even dubbed my chair the therapist office, and I'm totally okay with that. Right?
Yes.
I'd rather be the therapist's office than the principal's office. So and also like I mentioned it's the private golf club industry. And so we're in hospitality. We're all really nice people. And so it's just really kind of creating that culture and that environment that makes it a fun, safe, kind workspace.
Nice. You know, I mean, you're so beautiful, first of all, and you have
Thank you.
such a pleasant spirit. So I'm just like, I can see people coming and looking at you like, oh, I'm scared to go there because she's gonna bring the hammer down on me. But I do love that you actually, you actually are carrying this message with you in every area of your life. That's powerful. Um, and that whole shift that you say you want to change the stereotypical mindset of, oh, this is the trouble zone here, going to HR. I like how you're changing that. You're making a stance on, no, this is not. This is you can, if you want to come here and just vent, you can. This is a safe space. A lot of HR places are not like that though. I worked in corporate, and they were definitely not trying to be nice.
Yeah.
It was definitely you get a warning here. That's how it is. Now, I'm sure you have to do that sometimes, but I like the way that you transition, and it is not the kind of warning that people are used to in the corporate world. Because the corporate world will bring the hammer down real quick, and they will nail it down.
Yeah.
And that when they give you that warning, they're serious. And sometimes some of them are doing it just for protocol because their goal is to get you out anyway.
Right.
So thank you for your organization for being like an example in the community of showing hospitality and service and really caring for the employees and making sure that they feel safe. That is great. What kind of challenges have you actually experienced, or do you foresee in the workplace when kindness is not the standard?
Well, I mean, you know, kindness is not always the standard, as we know, and everything's not all sunshine and rainbows. But, you know, my solution is to lead by example. Again, I mentioned that earlier. And also just to like kill them with kindness. Like I want to be that person that is just overly kind. You have no choice but to be kind back to me. Like,
ooh, I love it.
You know, you can't, even if you have like a grumpy person, you know, you still kill them with kindness. And that's, you know, that's all you can do. You can lead by example, choose to always be kind. And, you know, that's the message I just try to portray all the time.
That's great. I actually, I'll be honest, I struggle when the person is grumpy. I really try, I really try to live my life positively and really try to not just, I'm not looking to start no trouble. I'm definitely not looking to start some trouble. But if you bring me some, I will finish it for you. So it's like, it's hard sometimes because I'm one of those people that, I was bullied growing up. So I'm at a place in my life, of course, as an adult, it's like, no, you don't get to bully me. I'm sorry. Not here. Not today. And so sometimes I do have to shift with how I'm going to present that standing up for myself, because sometimes it's not necessarily kind. It could come across to people like very, very, very hard. And so that's why I'm like, let me talk to her, because I want to learn this thing a little bit more. Because I try, but if I can get some more tools, it would be excellent. So yeah, it's very difficult sometimes when you have people who are kind of mean,
Mhm.
or grumpy. So with that said, how has it helped you? Because I'm sure you've faced people who were kind of nasty. Um, how has it helped you as a person on this journey of kindness? I don't know if you were always like this, but how has it helped you personally? Like, if you had to say like one thing that you've learned and you've appreciated of it helping you, what would it be?
Well, I think just being in the hospitality business for so much of my life. I mean, even my first job was a hostess at a restaurant. So I had to initially just start, being nice and being the friendly face that everyone first saw when they walked in. And I've just been doing that for so long that it's very natural to me. And it's actually very odd to see me in a bad mood or mad or, upset. It doesn't happen very often. So people always joke that if I'm mad, it's really bad. so, so I think, my one tip is just to face everything with a great attitude, and nothing can be that bad. Everything you can always choose to see the silver lining. You can always look at something positively, and then just choose to make those decisions to be kind and be the bigger person. And I know it's not always fun, and I know it's not always easy, but growing up in hospitality and just learning that yes is always the answer, it just kind of got ingrained in me, and I'm just so used to it now that it comes as second nature.
Wow. I can see that. I totally can see that. It sounds like it's just like your lifestyle. It's just who you are, which is beautiful. I want to read a few of these comments real quick. Someone says, "Hi, Stacy. Welcome to the Nitty Grit." And someone said, "Self-care is a natural anxiety reducer." Hello, ladies. I'm looking forward to a great show. Such a great idea for children. So someone liked your idea for the children. Our words definitely can affect our hearts and leave long-lasting scars. The statistics on the number of kids who have been bullied are a crisis. It is important to help kids learn to stand up for themselves. And it sounds like what you're doing, it actually, the kindness actually in many, many ways allows you to stand up for yourself. So it is a form of standing up for yourself, because you're not giving people power to yourself. You still have your own power. And I think when we react to them and go into their space, we don't have our power anymore. They
Mhm.
sift it. That's the other beautiful thing about kindness. Um, so yeah, so I'm wanting to just move along here, because you got this kindness thing down in this human resources area and in your life in general. I want to just shift a little bit more, because you got another hat, and talk about pageantry.
Yeah.
So you have been here before. This is like deja vu for you. You've done pageants before, right?
I've done a
How many
few.
have you done?
I've done, let's see, this year was number 5.
Okay, okay. What made you get into pageantry? Like doing, I did. This was my fourth one. So yeah, I'm right behind you. What made you get into pageantry?
So I didn't even know there was a married women's pageant world out there, until one of my friends competed. This was back in 2018. And so I went and watched her compete. And then lo and behold, I'm competing the next year. She convinced me that I should try as well. So I did, and I drank the Kool-Aid, and it was
Like too late.
unbelievable. And it's been, one of the biggest blessings of my life. I've made so many friends and learned so many things. And um, pageants are really just competing with yourself. You don't have to be competing with anybody else on that stage, but you're competing with yourself. And going back to that, full well-being, that rounded balance, that's what you have to have in pageantry. You have to have a full balance for yourself in order to put your best version on that stage and in that interview room. And it really helped me to kind of hone in and do that self-work on myself and really become the version of myself that I'm proud of.
That's a good one. I was talking to someone, I think on another show that I did, and I was talking about, like, for me in that experience, I'm very similar to you, that it really was not about me competing against Susie or Jane or Elizabeth or Tammy or Donna, or Brenda. It was not about me competing against any of them. And so my mindset and who I am as a person was already set before I even showed up there. It was, I was already at a place before, when we were just filling out the application. I knew that I was not going to go into that particular competition the way that I had done before. All the other pageants, there was a lot of competition. Like, I want to win this, I got to win this. Or, just sticking to myself and not really wanting to be around all the cattiness. Because there's, as you know, sometimes the women can get a little cray. And so, but this one, I said, I'm taking the experience in that I want to get out. And it blessed me. And I'm so grateful, because the cool thing about it is that the women in this particular pageant that you and I were in were pretty cool. There was a lot of great women. It was a lot of great people to, some of those relationships we're going to carry on for a lifetime, So I totally agree with you that the best version of yourself needs to go in for competing. Because if it does not, that's where you get lost in the sauce, and you'll get caught up in all kind of stuff. You will get caught up if there's cattiness. You will get caught up in an attitude if you don't win. If you don't get, well, I should have gotten this. Some people feel like that sometimes. They go into pageants thinking that I worked hard and I sold the most ads, I should have won. Or I had the most people attend, I should have won. Or I was the most voted, I should have won. There's all different kind of reason. And I just feel like that's immature spirit, immature attitude. And the reason people don't win with that attitude is because that's an unwinning attitude. And so what you're saying, I absolutely appreciate. I think it's the best way, the only way that any woman should go in to compete in a pageant. As you've competed in these pageants, you found yourself watching a friend. When do you feel like it became your own? Like, you watched a friend compete, but when do you feel like it became your own? This is I'm doing this thing and I'm going to keep doing more. Like, why did you keep doing more?
Kind of like I said earlier, I drank the Kool-Aid, and each year that I competed, even though I didn't win, I kept working on myself, kept improving, learned different things about myself. And then I can honestly say that this year was probably the first year that I truly felt like I put my authentic self out there and truly felt like it was me that was going out there, me that was in the interview, no outside, influence. I wasn't trying to be anybody else. And just really put myself out there, and then, it paid off. So even the coach I've worked with for a couple of years, she had even said to me as we were, having some sessions before the pageant, she said, you just sound different this year. I don't know what it is, but, you just sound different. And we're going back again to the full well-being balance. I had just really worked on making sure, and I shared with her at the time, and I'll tell you this, I had once we moved to Austin, we hadn't found a new church that we liked. And so we were just kind of in limbo. I was watching some online church from where we used to go and all of that. And then earlier last year, I started going to a church here locally, and it just really made an impact on my balance and my spiritual well-being. And that's why I said earlier, it's like natural anxiety medication to me. Like, it really made me feel back to being balanced. And so that was one thing for me this past year that was different, that I had gotten my full balance back together. And so even someone that had known me for a few years and worked with me on my pageant training and coaching, she was able to point out that without me even saying anything. She said, "I noticed there's something different about you. What is it?" And I just said, I've been working on myself. Just trying to get myself fully balanced. And so it really makes a difference when you can get your whole self.
The wholeness. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Staci, because it's okay. I think what you just shared is so crucial for us as women. It's okay to work on ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's okay for us to know we need to work on ourselves. And I think sometimes people can get intimidated by that, and they don't go in with their whole person, because they're afraid, like, oh, what if someone sees me make a mistake? Or what if someone's, there's a lot of, stuff that goes on, and all that energy that can actually be negative sometimes. But I love that you say, I worked on myself, in this pageant. This is the first time I completely felt like I'm all 100. Mm-hmm. I felt the same way, actually. I felt the same way. I had been working on myself for a long time, and I knew that I wanted something different. I claimed something different. I said, I want it to be different from the others. It can't be if it's got to be the same, I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do it. But working on ourselves is also, in many ways, being kind to ourselves.
1,000%, yes.
It is. It really is. Mm-hmm. So I want to see what your plans are. Do you plan on competing again? And by the way, y'all, this is the Miss US Woman of Achievement, just so y'all know her title. What are your plans? What do you hope to accomplish in the next 3 years as you spread the awareness about being kind? And also in pageantry, do you plan on competing more?
I don't plan on competing more. No. I had told my husband that was the last time. So I'm really grateful I was able to bring home a crown this time.
He's probably like, okay, we need to be done, baby. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah. But one of the things I love about Women of Achievement is the legacy queens and being able to stay a part of the organization even after your reign. So I'm hoping to stay a part of, the organization and hopefully be a legacy queen one of these years. But because I think it's beautiful, and, there's something really, really special about the system and what Marlena has put together. And last year when I competed at the first time in Women of Achievement, I just felt something different. It had a totally different vibe. It really felt like we were on a women's retreat, not, competing against each other at a pageant. So it has a really special bond with the women there. So I really hope to stay a part of that in the years to come, and whatever capacity that means. I'd love to do that. But
you'd be a great legacy queen, by the way.
Well, tell Marlena that.
I will.
But as far as my platform, it's something I'll continue to do with or without a crown. It's something that, I want to continue doing. And as my kids get older, I want to learn different ways to reach the kids in their age groups. So I know right now most of what I do is targeted towards younger kids. But as my kids get older, I want to be able to continue talking about kindness and teaching kindness to the different age levels. And my ultimate goal, my big dream goal for my platform, is to partner with Major League Baseball. They have an anti-bullying program called Shred Hate. And so I'd love
Ooh.
to, yeah, it would be amazing. I'd love to partner with them and get certified on their program and then be able to teach their program inside schools. That's kind of my big dream for my platform.
That is so cool. Now, Ari, have you already reached out to them, or is that something that's, you're seeking to do? You've
I've
already
reached out to them. I haven't been able to connect yet, but
okay.
I've tried a little bit so far, but I'm not giving up yet.
Well, we're gonna pray over that. We're gonna put that up in prayer. I would definitely be praying for you with
Thank
that.
you. I
That's
appreciate that.
pretty awesome. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. I think that you would be very, very vital to them. So I definitely am going to be praying about that.
Thank you.
Totally.
I appreciate that.
So thank you so much. This has been really, really good. I am definitely just inspired by you. I think that, like you said earlier, this word kindness, it seems simple, but it's not. It's really huge. And if you could keep spreading this message of joy like this, I'm rooting for you and I'm cheering you on because I think it's
Thank you.
so needed everywhere around the world. The world can definitely do have a little bit more kindness to survive. um, I would love for you to just tell the people a little bit where they can find you if they want to talk to you more about your project. That's because I'm sure there's some people who are interested in partnering up too with helping out with bullying as well as sharing the message of kindness. So is there a place they can find you?
Absolutely. My Instagram is just at Staci Brandonisio. So just my first and last name. And then same thing on Facebook, just Staci Brandonisio.
All righty. Y'all heard it from her mouth. Someone says, that sounds amazing. I wish you all the best. Pageantry is definitely a lot of hard work to compete. Thank you, Staci, for being here, girl. It definitely means a lot to me. And I can't wait to partner up with you myself in some way. I know that's coming soon. That is coming soon. But y'all, I appreciate you on Facebook for watching. I appreciate you, YouTube, for watching. And y'all, as always, I always like to say, make it a great day because you can. And Staci, thank you again, my friend, for being on here, Queen. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
You are welcome. You guys have a good one. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.